Welcome to T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. Wide variety of shots from the Space Needle. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Welcome, everybody, to T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball as we get a good look from the Space Needle, looking towards downtown and beyond would bring you right here to Safeco Field. Tonight, Game 2 of a 4-game set. The Mariners playing host to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the Root Sports crew with you. Glad to have you with us. Blue sky above here as we take a look at the Angels lineup that will face Roenis Elias.
For manager Mike Scioscia, Howie Kendrick's going to lead off. Average over 300 for him. Albert Pujols hitting third. Hit his 506th career home run yesterday. 14 home runs on the year, leads the Angels. And then you have Eric Ibar hitting sixth. Always a problem for the Mariners. Always seems to be in the middle of it, but he will hit sixth and play shortstop.
Winds out of the west at 6 miles an hour. Second pitch of the ball game in there for a called strike to Howie Kendrick, leading things off.
It'll be interesting to watch Elias today. His last outing, I thought he was a little bit wild with his fastball. Had a hard time getting to his curveball. In fact, at times his curveball, his changeup were the one pitches that he was able to get over. There's a good changeup from him. He's at his best when he can control that fastball, especially working ahead of hitters, and then throw the curveball. One of the best curveballs in the league. I think it's at its best when he can spike it, throw it out in front of home plate, and get some swings and misses at it. Wasn't able to get to that point in his last outing.
Way outside to Howie Kendrick for Elias, facing the Angels the second time this year. First time back on April 9th here in this ballpark. Victimized by a 2-run homer by Albert Pujols in the third. 2-0 loss to the Angels. Mariners had just one hit in that ball game. Up the middle, here's Nick Franklin. And he got him. 1-4-3 put out.
Really good play. Howie Kendrick can get down the line. Nick Franklin getting a chance to play second base. Cano the DH, and Smoke helping him out with a stretch. And it looks like they were able to get him, but a good barehanded play by Nick Franklin out at second base.
Cano DHing tonight. But McClendon's at 50 games. He's played in all of them. Chance to rest his legs a little bit. He's an everyday player. Hall of Fame track. Would prefer to be in there, but he understands. He said, hey, we got a lot of games yet to play. Here's Mike Trout.
It's one of the beauties of the American League, Dave, especially when you don't have a regular DH right now. You have Corey Hart on the DL. May as well take advantage of that while you can. And the goal ultimately is to keep Cano in the lineup every day.
Good pitch there by Elias. Yeah, Cano's a guy that's averaging about 159 games a year. So you gotta like that. Trout the leading vote getter in the American League. There's a 1-1 count. Fouled off. Trout 7th in slugging, 10th in RBIs, 9th in runs, 2nd in triples, and 1st in strikeouts. been swinging a lot better. A 370 clip recently after going 9 for 59. It's close. Most strikeouts tied with Jason Castro of the Astros, Chris Carter of the Astros, Flowers and Seaman up there as well. Struck him out. Nice pitch by Elias. 2 outs.
And that's the curveball that I was talking about. This pitch is not in the strike zone. It's a pitch that's down and gets Trout to swing over the top of it. We'll take a look at the defense for the Mariners. Ackley, Jones, and Saunders in the outfield. A lot of speed in the outfield. And on the infield, Brad Miller getting the start at shortstop. Nick Franklin taking over at second base. Cano again, the DH this afternoon. And Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Where's Pujols? 14 homers, 31 runs batted in. Bounces this one foul. Mentioned Albert back on April 9, a 2-run homer. The only scoring in that 2-0 loss for the Mariners. Mariners had just 1 hit in that ballgame. Ground ball backhanded by Miller. And he throws him out to find stuck for Juanis Elias. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels. 12 pitches thrown by Elias. The Mariners coming to bat. Doing some good business out at the Hit It Here Cafe with some bright sunshine streaming in. Enjoying their meal as the Mariners get ready to swing the bats against Jared Weaver, a very hot pitcher. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order that will face Mr. Weaver.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. James Jones will lead off, and then it's Michael Saunders hitting second, average up to 274, 462 average with 7 runs, 9 RBIs, batting second for the Mariners. Then it's Cano, the DH, hitting third. Smoke, Seager, and Ackley in the middle of the lineup. Nick Franklin getting the start at second base. He will hit 7th. Zunino and Miller rounding out the 9 for the Mariners. For Weaver, he has really pitched well this year. 5-3 record, but a 2.85 ERA and 66 1/30. He has 50 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 197 against him.
James Jones to lead it off. And first pitch from Weaver up high. Had the pleasure of being with James Jones, Michael Saunders, John Buck, Chris Young, and Willie Blomquist today, Education Day. South Shore School. There's a high drive down the line into the corner, and it is foul. Ball chased by Cowgill. Jonesy and company did a great job with the kids at the South Shore School. Rainier Beach, Keisha Scarlett, the principal.
Feeling the defense for the Angels. Trout is in center field, covers a lot of ground. David Freese, the former Cardinal, at third base. Ivar and Kendrick playing up the middle. Albert Pujols, the first baseman, and Chris Iannetta will do the catching for the Angels. Take a look at this foul ball by Jones. Great effort by the fan. Oh, don't fall onto the field, buddy.
Changeup pulls him.
I think when you think of Weaver and the numbers, you see the ERA at 2.85. He is not an overpowering pitcher. His fastball will be in the mid to upper 80s, but he will mix it up, throw everything up there. He has a fastball. There's his fastball. It's his best one at 87 miles an hour. Mix in a slider, slow curveball, and a changeup. Deception, location, changing speed's the key to the game for Weaver.
Lost his first 2 games and gone 5-1 since. 2-2 to Jones. Got things started. Infield hit last night. Mariners scored twice on 3 hits, and then in the second inning he was involved again. Reached on an error by Ibar. And that off-speed pitch way out in front fools him again. 1 out. We'll bring up Michael Saunders.
Saunders, good numbers against Weaver. 20 at-bats, hitting even 300 off of him. And he has been a hot hitter. You can see yesterday 2 for 3 with an RBI. Ended up hitting a triple down in the right field corner and scored a couple of runs.
This will be his 8th start, batting second. And he has hit .462 as he drives this one deep to right and jumping and leaping to make the catch. Colin Cowgill, 2 outs.
Take a look at the swing by Michael. Good movement on the fastball. Again, only 86 miles an hour, but it's up. Weaver had elevated it for him, as you see Cowgill, the right fielder, making the play up against the fence.
Cowgill gets up there, gets the heel of the glove, and then rolls right into the pocket. 2 down. Here's Robinson Cano DHing tonight. I asked him how he's going to spend his time DHing. He says, go back and watch Weaver on TV so you get a very good view from there as opposed to sitting on the bench. Cano DHing for the 4th time this season. Ibar scoops, flips over, and Weaver has an easy inning. 9 pitches. Second inning coming up. The sun still very prominent out at the Hit It Here Cafe. King Felix calling all fans to join his royal court tomorrow evening when he takes the hill against Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and the Angels at 7:10. Going to get a gold tee and a K card plus a seat in the King's Court, all for only $30. Can't beat that deal. Pick up your seats right now. Visit Mariners.com/Felix. David Freese jumps on the first pitch, sends it deep to center field, and it's off the fence. Jones will retrieve, and Freese into second with his 3rd double of the season. Mike Scioscia Very impressed with Freese. He's coming back off a recent injury. He's really strong and can really swing the bat.
Gets a high fastball, 90 miles an hour in the middle of the plate, right at the top of the strike zone. He was able to get to it. Hits right in the middle of the fence in center field. Fence angles a little bit. The ball was able to get by Jones because of that angle. He has a strong arm, able to get it back in quickly and hold him to a double.
C.J. Cron, the DH. Cron 0 for 3 last night. He drove Michael Saunders to the fence in right field last evening.
Only 56 at-bats on the year for Cron, but he's done his share of damage. He has 4 doubles and a couple of home runs in 56 at-bats, so he has some pop.
Breaking ball hit well, left field. Off base of the fence on the bounce. Freese scoring easily. Into second with an RBI double. C.J. Cron, 1-0 Angels. For Cron, his 5th double, 8th RBI. Got it done with 2 strikes.
Well, look at this breaking ball. I think again he wanted to throw it in the dirt, but he leaves it up in the zone, up in the middle of the plate. Cron makes him pay for it. Short hops the fence in left field. So back-to-back doubles for the Angels to start top of the second. Seager and Smoke playing in on the corners, expecting Ibar to bunt.
Ibar 0 for 3. And last night, yesterday's game, there's a bunt. It's a beauty. And it will go foul.
With Ibar Davis, he's one of the few guys that play the game that will show bunt, square around to show bunt, and then he will pull the bat back and take a swing at it. So you have to be careful, and that's the reason why Kyle is playing a little bit deeper maybe than normal. Fortunately, this hits the cut of the grass and it pushes it foul. So that's just a strike, but you have to be careful when he's up at the plate.
Cagey guy. I was talking to Mike Scioscia today. Says, hey, even if he's a great player, if he makes a mistake, he's able to turn the page and forget it immediately. Does so many little things, as we talk about all the time, every time we see the Angels. Good player. Gonna know 1 count. It's a line drive left field to the gap. Coming around to score is Cron. Ibar. Back-to-back-to-back doubles. 2-0 Angels.
Well, this time it looks like the changeup, and it is a little 85-mile-an-hour changeup right in the middle of the plate and elevated, so he's getting the ball up in the zone, and because of that, Rick Waits, the pitching coach, going to make a trip out to the mound. 3 doubles in a row for the Angels. Still nobody out here in the second.
Angels come in 3rd best slugging team in the American League. 8th in batting average, 4th in runs, 8th in hits, 7th in doubles, 3rd in homers. And they're the number 3 ERA team behind the Mariners, who are number 2, and Oakland's number 1.
"19 pitches, 15 strikes. It's the quality of the strikes that he has to be concerned about in this inning. Only 12 pitches in the first inning. Already 7 here in the second. 2 runs have scored, and he still hasn't recorded an out.
Ibar's 26th RBI, his 12th double. Howie Kendrick and company, 2-0 lead early on here. Brings up Grant Green. Looks at ball 1. Green recalled earlier this month on May 2nd, swinging the bat well. This one fouled off. Green at a .391 clip since his call up. 6 for 14 against Mariner pitching. Great hands of Mike Zunino in evidence right there. Short hopping that one. 2-1. Bad news from a pitching front for the Mariners. James Paxton. Inflammation. Left shoulder will be shut down until further notice. That is not good news. There's a time there looked like best case scenario. Maybe we'd see him around June 1 or so. A punch shot right field. Saunders is there. And a one hop to Seager. So one out. So we check out our CenturyLink link to what's next. Good pitching matchup. C.J. Wilson against the King, Felix Hernandez. C.J. at 6-3 with a 3.00 ERA. And there's Felix's number, 6-1 with a 2.75. Mariners have won 5 of 6 against these Angels. And they're in a hole here, 2-0 with one out, runner at second. There's Chris Iannetta, the catcher. Iannetta pinch hit last night for Hank Conger, who got the start. Flied out to center. It's in the 8th inning.
Talked about it with Elias before. Young pitcher, pitched in Double-A last year, and one of the things that's been impressive about him is, for the most part, he's been able to control the damage when he gets into some trouble, and he needs to do that with Weaver on the mound for the Angels. You don't want to get too far behind. Another ball hit hard.
That ball's a rocket. One hop the fence. Ibar scores. Yet another double for the Angels. Iannetta, his 17th RBI and 7th double. And a 3-0 lead. 4th double of the inning.
And the Angels 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this inning. A lot of pitches we showed you earlier. He's throwing a lot of strikes, but it's the quality of the strikes. A lot of pitches in the middle of the plate. And the Angels are not missing them right now. Even the out to record the hit out to right field. That ball was lined to Saunders in right.
A rugged inning for Elias. Here's Colin Cowgill, the right fielder. Ball one. Iannetta was ahead in the count, 2-0. Angels have been surging since early in the month. They've won 12 of their last 17, moving from 4th place to 2nd place. Associate with Albert Pujols, Dave Hansen, former Mariner hitting coach. Two balls, one strike. Callan Calgary. SF, the railroad, hauling some commerce right beyond Safeco Field. Both directions too. Strike 2 to Cowgill. 1. You got southbound right there in the foreground and going northbound right behind. And I-90 right above. Elias has run a full count, 3-2. Now right field camera bouncing to the vibrations of 2 passing freight trains. Elias being bounced around here in the 2nd inning by the Angels. Swing and a miss. 2nd out. And the 2nd strikeout of the ball game so far for Elias.
3-2. He didn't want to give it to him, throw the fastball. So he goes back with the changeup at 85 miles an hour. Again, in the middle of the plate. But Cowgill out in front of the changeup at a 3-2 count.
Top of the order, here's Howie Kendrick. The ball up the middle of that deflected off of Elias to Nick Franklin. Breaking ball up high. 33 pitches for his 5 outs for Elias. Laboring. Saunders towards the line, got a great jump, and he makes the play. Catches it in fair territory. 3-0 Angels as they get to Elias. And if you're a train lover, this is a great view right here. On here against Jared Weaver as Elias knocked around for 3 runs on 4 hits. 4 doubles in the inning by the Angels. Here's Justin Smoke to lead it off against Jared Weaver. Went 1, 2, 3 in the first. Smoke 8 for 29, couple of home runs against Weaver.
Angels put the shift on. Eric Ibar, the shortstop, over on the right side of the infield. Howie Kendrick on the outfield grass.
Breaking ball for a strike. Home plate umpire Trip Gibson. Dale Scott at first, Dan Iasonia at second, and CB Buckner at third.
A slow curveball a number of times already early in the game. I think he threw one of them to Jones that was only 67 miles an hour.
Weaver with a career mark against the Mariners, 13-9 with a 3.26 ERA. 6-7 here at Safeco Field with a 4.38. Smoke to be followed by Seager and Ackley. 4, 5, and 6 for the Mariners. Counts run full. Two. Maybe should get a piece of it.
77 miles an hour right on the corner. You can see all 6 pitches on our tracer. None of them in the middle of the plate. All of them on the edges are just off the plate. And that'll be Weaver tonight. He will typically try to expand the zone on the hitters, get him to chase pitches off the plate.
Strike 3 call. Smoke thought he had a free pass, and he's done. 1 out here in the second. As Twitter Tuesday continues, here's your second chance to win. Use hashtag RootQ2 and tell us what's the name of this playfield where the Robinson Cano bobblehead is located. And we did give you the answer last Thursday. This for a chance to win a Root Sports prize pack, including a stadium blanket. We're going to have more questions, 3 more still to come, so stay tuned. Brings up Kyle Seager. It's 4 for 18 against Jared Weaver. Good view out along the rail. in right field. Mariners have played pretty good ball of late, up and down, in and out around the 500 mark. Mariners have won 5 of their last 8 ball games.
Something that Lloyd had been talking about. Wants to get through the first 50 games. The Mariners are there now. This is the 51st game for them, and to be at 500 with some of the injuries they've had and the inconsistencies on the offensive side, I think you have to be happy with that 500 record.
Absolutely, but this news tonight about Paxton's not good.
That's not good, no.
Inflammation, left shoulder, shut down immediately until further notice. Taijuan Walker's supposed to pitch tomorrow in Tacoma, 70 to 75 pitches. Hopefully he will come through health-wise. Maybe he will be back available to the big club. There's Taijuan in the next week. Yes, I'd say in the next couple of weeks.
Signing Chris Young looks more and more important to the Mariners, especially in the way that he's pitched. Chris, the winner yesterday, beat these Angels, but
he was really good. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run was earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Two and 2. Slaps it the other way. Redo at 2 and 2.
.89 miles an hour on that last fastball. That's been his best fastball so far.
Weaver, a 3-time All-Star, records his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Consecutive strikeouts here in the 2nd.
Take a look at the last pitch. It looks like a changeup, and it is 79 miles an hour. Kyle out in front of the changeup. Had some good run to it. Tried to get it to run off the outside corner, more middle of the play, but Kyle well out in front. That's what's going to make it tough on the Mariners. He will constantly change speeds. There's another slow curveball, 69 miles an hour. Change speeds on you. Change the speeds on his fastball at times. It'll be anywhere from 85 to 89 miles an hour.
Those long arms, long legs coming at you, particularly for right-handers. Can't be easy as Ackley puts the barrel to it, digging hard for second. Got the play in front of him. He's in safely with the double for Ackley. His 8th double of the season. It's the first hit for the Mariners.
Shouldn't be much of a surprise. Ackley, a .333 hitter off of Weaver with a home run, and he jumps on the second pitch here. 80 miles an hour. Looks like the changeup again, but Dustin stays on it. Able to drive it down into the corner.
Bring up Nick Franklin, struggling at 138. You got Brad Miller at 153. Lloyd McClendon said something's got to give here. Neither one of these guys are career interstate hitters, if you will. Hopefully things will get figured out and get rolling here.
They're almost back to where they were at in spring training, meaning that they were battling for the shortstop job. Brad ended up winning the job, but I think it's up for grabs again. And I think for Lloyd, he just wants somebody to take it.
You got these two, plus you got Chris Taylor down at AAA, but he's battling off a recent hand injury. He was putting up good numbers in Tacoma. That will get down, and that will drive Ackley towards home. Here is the throw to the plate. Not in time. Ackley scores standing up. RBI single, Nick Franklin. Got a 3-1 ball game. Franklin with his 2nd RBI.
Well, that'll help Nick out. Nick playing second base tonight. You see him going to clutch it. Mariners scoring a run with a couple of outs here in the 2nd inning. Good job staying on the changeup. This is a mistake. He leaves this changeup up. Nick hits it out into right field. Cowgill in right field. You better run hard, which Ackley did. He has a strong throwing arm.
There's Mike Zunino. Back safely, barely. That's a good move, quick moves. Franklin now has a good knowledge of his best move.
Weaver's always had quick feet.
High pop. Foul territory. Does not come back.
Well, the wind's blowing out to right field. It looked like it tried to bring it back. That was it's going to be foul well up into the seats. Ended up, I don't know, about 4 rows. There you can see the breeze tonight blowing out to right field.
That's how the standings read. Athletics, the Angels, the Rangers, the Mariners, and the Astros in the West. Oakland starting today 2.5 up on the Angels. Texas 3-2 over Minnesota. Bottom of the 9th, Josh Willingham is back for Minnesota. Pitch outside. Angels with 4 doubles in the top of the 2nd inning. Last time they did it was 2007. So Nino's got a 1-1 count.
There's some room in the outfield grass for a base hit with 2 outs. Mike Scioscia has his outfielders playing deep. All of them just in front of the warning track. So there's a lot of grass in front of them for Mike to get a base hit. Take the double away.
Mike with 18 runs batted in. He's got a 2-1 count. Another high pop. Long run for Ibar. This looks like he's going to make a play. Calls off Freeze and does, and that'll do it for the Mariners here in the 2nd inning. They get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave a man. It's 3-1 Angels. On the board. Hey, make sure you take advantage of the best deal in baseball. Safeco Insurance Grand Slam Family Package for as low as $15. Each member of your family pick up a ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi. Next event's coming up tomorrow. Felix and the Mariners take on Mike Trout and the Angels at 7:10. Tickets available at mariners.com. Speaking of Mike Trout, he leads off here in the 3rd. Trout, Pujols, and Freeze 2-3-4 against Elias. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits in the second inning. All 4 hits doubles. First time since '07 the Angels have done that. Trout struck out on a 2-2 pitch his first time.
You can see Elias, he's trying to pitch inside to the right-handed hitters. And the Angels have some good ones when you think of Kendrick and Trout, Pujols. That's a quality strike from him. But in the second inning, he left a lot of pitches in the middle of the plate. The last pitch was a perfect strike, down and on the inside corner.
Laid off the high pitch, 2-2. Fouled it back.
Again, another fastball in the middle of the plate. Was able to get away with that one. Get away with a few more pitches like that when you're working ahead in the count, as opposed to being down 3-1, 2-0. Those counts that typically will hurt you. Spike the changeup.
Full count to Trout. Albert Pujols waiting his turn. Way outside to Trout. Leads the American League players in the first balloting figures for the 85th All-Star game. Coming up tomorrow, C.J. Wilson going for his 11th start. Felix his 12th. 2 accomplished pitchers. Should be a good one. CenturyLink link to what's next. Trout 5 out of 5 in base stealing. Here's the first pitch of Pujols way outside.
Well, he started off commanding the strike zone in this inning and then ends up losing Trout. So Zunino, after that first pitch, quickly out to the mound. Like a lot of young pitchers, I think at times he tries to overthrow. And you have a guy in the batter's box with the reputation of Pujols, you can understand why.
Talking to Mike Scioscia today, he said we're not going to be able to turn back the clock. Hands at times 6-7 years ago for Pujols, but he is hitting the ball really well. 14 homers, 31 runs batted in. You can tell that the plantar fasciitis, the bad knee, the right knee, so much better. He's moving around first base so much better than he did last year. The numbers prove it. 4th in home runs, 6th in slugging, 8th in runs scored, and tied for 2nd in extra base hits.
I know at times last year it was painful for us to watch him try to get down to first base.
All upper body swinging and try to use his hands as much as possible. Couldn't use those legs at all. Not at all, but certainly not to the degree that, you know, a Hall of Fame track that he's on. Grounded out to short to end the first inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. Oakland just tied up Detroit 2-2, bottom of the 2nd in Oakland. 2-2 count here. Albert pops it up. It's playable. Seager near the third base coach's box. 1 out, 1 on, 3rd inning. We have another Coors Light Silver Bullet Saturday coming up May 31st against the Tigers. First 400 fans who enter the Root Sports Pen for an early happy hour at the Rail Bar going to get a free Silver Bullet Saturday t-shirt and extended happy hour pricing up until first pitch. Plus, catch a specially marked Coors Light baseball during Mariners BP on a Silver Bullet Saturday, and you're going to win tickets to an upcoming ball game. David Freese doubled off the left center field wall his first time up. Started a parade of 4 doubles in the second inning. Produced 3 runs for the Angels. Good view from the foul pole, right field. And I just had a big announcement here on Mariner Vision about fill out your ballots for Mr. Cano. Get him into the All-Star game as a starter. Those guys look like they were doing. The other way, foul ball.
You mentioned Oakland tying up the ball game against the Tigers. Tigers struggling lately. Lost 7 out of their last 8. Surprising.
And Kinsler's not having any problems. Boy,
no.
He is swinging a good bat. Cano, Pedroia. You got Howie Kendrick, good second baseman who can hit. Dozier. Leaving somebody out. Who are we leaving out?
Mr. Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve. Duh. There's a strike. He's not in front of me, and I totally forgot that after he won about 8 for 15.
I don't know, but he seems like the best player in the league every time we see him.
Man.
Yeah, he's been something.
I agree with Bo Porter, best player pound for pound.
Not going to get an argument from me. What's funny about it too is it's across the board. You talk to the Angels, they just played him too, and they said the same thing. They weren't able to get him out.
Houston gives them trouble, just like gives the Mariners a lot of trouble. Angels were 9-10 last year against the Astros. One-two pitch to Freeze. Again, great hands by Zunino. He's a Florida kid, but had he been born in Manitoba, he'd be a heck of a goalie. Two balls, 2 strikes to David Freese, the former St. Louis Cardinal. And he takes ball 3. So Elias has struck out 2, walked 1 thus far. On deck hitter C.J. Crone.
And another full count. We walked Trout on a full count. Missed with a changeup. See what he comes with Freeze hitting.
Back. Redo at 3-2.
Good cut fastball in on his hands.
Mariners got a Nick Franklin RBI to get on the board with 2 outs in the home second. This after the Angels put 3 on the board in the top half of that inning. 4 doubles. RBIs by Crone, Ibar, and Iannetta. 3-2 here to Freeze. Trout runs. Pitch hit through the hole, a base hit. Trout going to third. He'll get there easily. First and third for the Angels with 1 out. 2 for 2 night for David Freese.
And he gets a changeup, middle of the plate. Finds a hole on the left side of the infield. Trout was on the move, so he's able to get to third easily. But another base hit for the Angels. 3 runs on 5 hits so far for them. Bring up C.J. Crone. Crone doubled. Short hop the fence in left field.
And he did that behind in the count 0-2. Strike 1. Cardinals just closed out the Yankees 6-0 at Busch Stadium. Met the Ryu kid last night, the big Korean, throwing a perfect game late. Dodgers against Cincinnati. He looked good too.
I think he moved to go into the 8th inning with it.
A line drive. He had to run the bases. He had walked. And he left the pitch up. And it was a line drive over the third baseman's head to break it up.
Angels 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position here early in the game.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Crone is gone. Third strikeout for Elias. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning.
He's throwing more changeups tonight. Normally he would go to his curveball, but this is another changeup. Take a look at our McDonald's Supermo and the swing by Crone out in front of the changeup. Well located pitch.
Bring up Eric Ibar. Double to left, RBI, 2nd inning. Ball 1. Ibar, the Angels shortstop, now with 13 hits his last 17 games. Up the middle. Franklin stops, gets it to Miller. Well done. Nice play by Nick Franklin. Robinson Cano DHing tonight, and Franklin with a nice play to save another run. 3-1 Angels. Back here, 3-1 at Safeco Field. We're above the A at Safeco Field behind home plate. Pleasant evening, 64 degrees here in Seattle. Mariners down a couple of runs here to Jared Weaver, who struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. There's Brad Miller. Long run by the left fielder Green, and he makes the play. And how about that athleticism of Ibar to jump the fence there?
Or he just wanted some popcorn. Well, the good news here at Safeco Field, it's a short fence. He didn't jump too high, and there's an aisle there, so he was in good shape, and so were the fans as he went over the top of it to protect himself.
Didn't have to do a Jeter faceplant, thank goodness.
I think he felt that was a better way to go than bang his knees into the fence.
Strike 1 to James Jones, second time around, but he was victimized by a couple of really good off-speed pitches by Weaver first time up. There's another one.
69 miles an hour on the slow curveball. think for the most part, you look at the scouting reports, and Jones likes to hit the fastball. There's no question about that. And most of the time, that's not going to be an issue, regardless of what the scouting report is, because the pitchers don't want to walk him because of his speed. But with a pitcher the caliber of Weaver, and his ability to throw all those off-speed pitches when he wants to can be a problem. And he's wasted a couple of pitches inside. I'm sure he wants to get him out with another off-speed pitch.
2-2.
Changeup.
Yep. Coming in is Green. Pretty good wheels by that young man. 2 down. Here's Angie Menting.
Guys, thanks so much. I'm really impressed with how well everyone listens and then pays attention. It is Twitter Tuesday, and our second question of the night, we asked you what playfield was this Robinson Cano bobblehead at, and you guys answered, many of you correctly, Bobby Morris playfield at Cal Anderson Park on Seattle's Capitol Hill. Stay tuned. We've got more questions coming and more prizes, including a Robinson Cano autographed baseball, guys.
All right. I don't like that. Good retention by the fans and good identification of locales here.
Michael Saunders will step in. Michael hit the ball hard his first time up. Took Calgill, the right fielder, up against the fence. Calgill was able to make the catch. So a fly out to right for Saunders in his one at bat.
Got a 1-1 count. Michael 6 for 21 against Weaver. Broken bat, ground ball, gets through, base hit.
.79-mile-an-hour changeup right off the end of the bat. Howie Kendrick, the second baseman, was playing him on the pull side of the right side of the infield and left the middle open. There you can see Kendrick. Oh, even though it broke his bat and it wasn't hit hard, he finds a hole up the middle to pick up a base hit.
Bring up Cano. Cano representing the tying run.
Cano has the most at bats on the Mariners against Weaver, and he's had a lot of success coming into the game. A .394 hitter off of Weaver.
Still looking for that first home run here as a Mariner. Well,
he has 2 home runs, and both of them was when he was DHing. So he's DHing today. Maybe today's the day.
3's a charm. All right. We'll hitch our wagon to that.
Yeah. There's still some good numbers down there at .330 batting average.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
9-0-2. Not thrilled with the Tripp Gibson call.
A couple of borderline pitches, but again, for Weaver, he's that kind of pitcher where he's going to be around the edges, and he'll get a lot of calls because of it. Not much of a lead for Saunders. There you go. 65 hits, tied for third in the American League. 21 multi-hit games. Again, this is just the 51st game. Tied for second in Major League Baseball.
How about that third one? Most in the big leagues. 311 multi-hit games since '09. It's impressive.
He's been pretty good.
All in 2 strikes. Weaver first in the American League batting average against among pitchers at 197, and he's 10th in ERA. He has really turned it around after losing his first 2 games.
Kyle Seager looking forward to his next at bat.
And 2 to Cano. Up high. 2-2. You
see Weaver talking to himself. That's one of the things about him is you'll know how it's going. Well, they say his feelings on his sleeve. He will let you know.
2-2. Back up the middle and a hop. to Ibar, and he'll throw out Cano. Hit it hard. But the Mariners are retired. A 3-1 lead for the Angels.
Are you following us on Twitter for your chance to win Root Sports prizes? If not, there's still time at @RootSports_NW. You know, our Robinson Cano bobblehead, well traveled. Here's question 3 using hashtag RootQ3. Tell us which Seattle street this Cano bobblehead is on. The Smith Tower is a clue, guys. It's your chance, folks, to win a jersey. Robinson Cano, I hope you look right, look left, and look right again.
Angie always looking out. That's right.
These folks communicating. Wonder if they're trying to answer the question. Yes. Well done, Angie. Somebody posted a picture recently of base head up the middle by Grant Green on an 0-1 pitch. Picture of Albert Einstein looking down at a bunch of people, like in a gathering, and everybody had their head down, and in a balloon it said, "Talk to each other, people." So true. Reminds me of the grandma in a commercial. I'm going to unfriend you. I'm going to take you down off the wall. You see that one where she takes him off the wall? Is that great? And hit him.
He hits him.
And the first 2 minutes, boy, he struggled.
His last few outings, it's been a challenge for him. There's the base hit on an 0-1 pitch back up the middle. And now a pitch trying to go inside. Barely gets a piece of the shirt, but that's enough.
First 2 men are aboard here.
I really thought after Elias in his last outing, where he really struggled with his command, especially with the fastball, that a little bit of work in between starts he would be better today, but he's still struggling with it. 60 pitches.
What?
Oh, boy.
That's a great bunt. Bases loaded. Nice job by Calgill. Base hit.
Well, bunts it past the pitcher. It looked like Elias was going to be able to make the play. On this play, Kyle Seager, the third baseman, was playing in, and he has to read it. And you can see it's just out of the reach of Elias. Kyle's job is to get back to third so he can make a play there. And Elias not able to come up with it. At that point, Calgill can walk to first. So now you have the bases loaded. He's given up a couple of hits and hit a batter in this inning.
What a job by the bottom third of the order. Single hit batter, bunt single. Get you back to the top of the order. Third time around, Howie Kendrick.
Yep, now you have all kinds of problems.
Sure
Kendrick
do.
Came into the game hitting .303 with a couple of home runs and 22 RBIs. And the Angels so far 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Howie 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. 4 runs knocked in. And swings through for strike 1. We know about Howie Kendrick too. He'll use the entire field.
Typically he hits the ball the other way, back up the middle. Likes the ball to travel and to get a little bit deeper. You can see what he's done in his career with the bases loaded. Still looking for his first grand slam this year. 1 for 3 with the bases loaded.
Oh-2 pitch.
I almost hit him again. Even on that pitch, he's trying to throw a ball. He wants to move him off the plate, but it's so far inside and down. You almost lose the effect of the pitch. We'll see what he comes back with here. He started him with a changeup. Maybe he'll go back to the changeup after that pitch inside.
Leos's last outing got a no decision, 5 1/3. That was against the Astros. Here's the 1-2 to Kendrick. Bouncing ball to Miller. 1 to Franklin. And a turn 2. Run does score. Nice quick turn out there by Nick Franklin.
Nick's made a few plays tonight. Did you see this ball? High hopper, 2 hopper to Brad. Brad gets to him quickly. You can see the runner sliding in to Nick as he gets rid of it, but he has a strong arm. And he's signed as a shortstop. He has that kind of arm and a quick turn from him.
Grant Green scoring on a play.
Take another look at Nick in our McDonald's Supermo with the turn as Cowgill gets right in on top of him. It's a good job staying back behind the base. Let the base help him out as far as protecting him. Good play. He's made 3 good plays tonight.
2 outs, a run in, 4-1 Angels. Trout coming on is Saunders, and he's there for the out. So a run on 2 hits and a man left. It's 4-1 Angels. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Seattle City Light, visit seattle.gov/WePower for more information. And by Jack in the Box, head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. So look up Occidental Street. Fans lining up for tickets to see Lana Del Rey, new music sensation. Breaking ball starts off Justin Smoke. Strike 1 to Big Smokey, who struck out leading off the 2nd inning. Struck out looking. 1-1. That is a rocket. And say goodbye. Home run. Justin Smoke. A line drive home run to make it 4-2. It's his third career home run off of Weaver for the season. Smoke with his 7th home run, 29th RBI, and he takes over the home run lead on the ball club. Make no doubt about that.
Looked like Weaver tried to go back inside with a fastball and left it about middle in. It's only 84 miles an hour, and Justin turns it around. Pitch runs right back to the middle part of the plate as he barrels it up. Good look at his swing.
And that great sound. Big impact. This one down the line, foul off the bat of Kyle Seager.
Take another look at the swing by Justin. Soft stride. You can see where the location of that pitch was.
See Weaver.
Yeah, he knew.
Absolutely. 371 feet on that line drive. It's one of those about halfway he knew, right?
That's when the catcher tries to get that glove out there a little bit farther, try to get to it.
One of the best parts of Education Day, driving over. Fellas, here's a little looper.
Oh, this may
Freeze can't get it.
Get a double.
He'll hold there with a single.
That is a beautiful thing.
But on Education Day, we're riding over. Willie Bloomquist does a almost flawless imitation of Mr. Smoke. It's very funny.
Willie can do a number of impressions of people.
He's very good. Here's Cano and his group with Felix, Corey Hart, Nick Franklin, Charlie Furbush, Joe Beimel. That's our group right there. There's Willie. And John Buck was ahead. Tell the kids, I want to ask you one thing here. Can I get a whoop whoop? Kids love it. They go, whoop whoop. That whole thing, he had them charged up. All the guys did it. That group. Great group of kids at the South Shore School, Rainier Beach. A lot of fun.
I'm going to guess that the Moose stole the show again.
You know what? He was not there.
Really?
That's how good our group was that good. Saunders, Buck, Chris Young, Jones, and Bloomquist.
Didn't need him.
Really, it really did. First time I can say that. Usually it's like, dude, don't get sick. Howie Kendrick gets the lead runner. So Ackley's aboard. Fielder's choice. And a race to Seager. 4-6. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Love it. The day's getting longer. What a beautiful thing here. It's 8:21. We got at least another 40 minutes of light. Moving closer to June 21. So one out, man at first, Dustin Ackley.
Nick Franklin with a base hit and an RBI his first time up. He's having a good game so far. Mentioned made 3 really good defensive plays. Barehanded play, quick turn, diving play back up the middle, and a base hit to drive in a run.
Oh, 1 here to Nick. Miller and Franklin can really give this team a boost when they start hitting, because the Mariners, as you know, in the bottom third of too many offensive categories, yet at the same time 25 and 25 going into today's game, largely on the strength of a good bullpen and overall ERA of 3.53, second only to Oakland.
Well, it looks like Lloyd McClennan's been able to figure out the top part of his lineup with the success he's had with Jones and Saunders and Cano hitting in the first third, and then he's still mixing and matching the rest of it. And I think you're right. A big part of that comes down to really Brad. If Brad can get things going towards the bottom of the lineup, Zunino with 6 home runs certainly has helped. But Brad is another guy on their club that has some speed and can do some things on the bases. See, as he's waiting his turn to come out on deck, but he can help him.
Base hit through the hole. Ackley will get to third. As Cowgill hits the cutoff man. Mariners in business. 1 out. A run in. Runners at the corners in a 4-2 ball game. It's the king of all posters coming up Sunday. All youngsters 14 and under. You're going to get a free Felix Hernandez poster. It's all part of Aquafina Little League Day at the ballpark when the Mariners take on the Tigers at 1:10. Get your tickets for the entire team at mariners.com. Beautiful sunset here in Seattle. As the Mariners trying to rise up here in the 4th. 4-2 ball game. Tying runs aboard. And Mike Zunino representing the go-ahead run. Going back is Kendrick. Coming in Trout. Kendrick is there. So Zunino pops out. I'll bring up Brad Miller. Brad, first time up, he fouled out to the left fielder, Grant Green.
Well, the Mariners scored the 1 run in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. See if they can do it again. Brad come up with a base hit. Mariners 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. The Angels have had a lot of opportunities here through the first 4 innings. They're 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
Like Socia, 15th year. Skipper for these Angels. Nice stab there by Iannetta, ball 1. Smoke leads off the inning with a home run. His 7th. And RBI number 29. Ty Seager for the team lead. And that home run takes over the team lead. Brad Miller right now ahead in the count 2-0. That's what Brad was working on last week or earlier in this homestand. Pitch recognition with Lloyd McClendon and Howard Johnson as James Jones hoping to get a shot here. Loaded up. 4-pitch walk. Jim, walk me through this. James Jones has seen plenty of off-speed pitches now in these first 2 at-bats. What's his mindset going in here in this at-bat? Bases loaded, a chance to do some damage.
Well, it's a little bit different because the bases are loaded, and my guess would be that he's going to look for a fastball in the middle of the plate. If he throws anything else, he should just take it. And especially after the walk to Miller, the one thing that he should pay attention to is your point. All 4 pitches to Miller, off-speed pitches, including the pitch that he walked him on, which was a changeup. So Weaver is not going to just give in to a hitter, but I think for James, the young hitter, look for a fastball that you can handle, and if you don't get that, just take it.
Throws it away, doesn't ricochet back, free run. They'll take it, 4-3. The other runners move up. Wild pitch charge to Weaver. Ackley scored easily. To third goes Nick Franklin, and Brad Miller to second.
And it was a fastball, and a fastball that's well up out of the strike zone. That almost looked like Iannetta was crossed up on it. He was slow to get his glove up.
Yeah, I agree.
Going to break for the Mariners.
Where was it? We were just in, where it was Ricochet Alley. Was that Minnesota where it came back real hard? And
Minnesota,
Texas. And Texas.
And Texas. They both have the bricks back there. Yeah.
Ball died here, so that made it a heck of a lot easier and less stressful for Ackley. He knew he was going to come, get in there easy, especially with his speed. Second and third, 2 outs with James Jones. Base hit will put the Mariners ahead.
Well, this changes things now. You have first base open, so again, Weaver's going to work off the edges of the plate or go with his off-speed pitch. There's the slow curveball for a strike. That pitch was elevated.
One and one here to Jones. Through the fastball, ball and 2 strikes.
Borderline strike, maybe up out of the strike zone.
Second and third, 2 outs, a 1-2 to Jones. Popped it up, it's playable. Freeze will take care of it. Their territory. And that'll do it for the Mariners. They draw a run closer thanks to Weaver's wild pitch. 4-3 Angels.
Pulled within 1. It is now time for you to keep the good vibes coming. Tweet your photos using the hashtag MarinersFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later in the game. It's brought to you by AT&T. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Angie. Only offense getting Mr. Elias back in this ball game.
Well, let's see if he can settle down now and start working ahead of some hitters. He missed with the first pitch to Pujols. His next pitch will be 70 for Elias.
Popped up and playable. Big out. Smoke stays with it. 1 out here in the 5th. That'll bring up David Freese. 2 for 2. Double to left center and a single to left. Just joining his 2nd inning. Angels got all over Elias. 3 runs on 4 hits. They had 4 doubles. RBIs by Crone, Ibar, and Iannetta. Mariners get an RBI in the bottom of the 2nd from Nick Franklin. Make it 3-1. Strike 1 here. Angels had a run on the 4th. And then the Mariners in the home 4th get a home run from Smoke.
I think
a wild pitch.
Yeah, if Elias can settle down,
and command the strike zone a little bit better than he has, or at least keep it where it's at, even if he has to struggle his way through it. It's like Joe Beimel's getting loose in the pen for the Mariners. Just keep it there, and the Mariners are able to come back and win this game. I'll guarantee you that Lloyd McClendon will point to the fourth inning, the top of the fourth.
Saunders coming on.
Bases loaded with nobody out, and Elias gives up 1 run. That is damage control, and he had to face a couple of really good hitters in Kendrick and Trout to get out of that inning. And that's pretty good for a young pitcher to do that.
Got a quick 2 outs here in the 5th. C.J. Cron will be the hitter, RBI double in the 2nd, strikeout in the 3rd. First pitch strike. Elias tonight has struck out 3, walked 1, and he's hit a batter. Weak wave, foul, and 0-2 to Cron. He can get out of this now. That'd be a great emotional boost too.
If he can retire this batter, it'll be a quick inning for him and get the hitters back in the dugout and let him see if they can get a lead for him. But you're right.
Ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Piece of that. 1-2.
I agree. Pitch might have hit the plate.
It's like, remember Ichiro would volley a ball every now and then.
Yeah. That looked like a good changeup.
Ball and 2 strikes. Did he swing? He did. That was an ugly swing, and C.J. Cron would cop to that in a heartbeat. 1, 2, 3 in the 5th, and Mariners will take it. Baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by T-Mobile, sponsoring Tuesday Night Baseball. Good view from the Sky City Space Needle restaurant. Sped it up a little bit, but it's a great view as you rotate and at the Space Needle at the Sky City restaurant as you look at Lake Union. It's a very good day to be taking Some video up at the Space Needle. Strike to Saunders, 0-2.
Well, quick inning for Elias and a good opportunity for the Mariners. Saunders again hitting 300 off of Weaver in his career, already 1 for 2. And then you have Cano due up next at 394, started the game. And of course, Smoke hit his 3rd home run off of Weaver, a solo home run for him in the 4th. So some guys that have had some success against Weaver due up.
Way inside, 2-2. Franklin an RBI and home run by Smoke. Another run on a wild pitch tonight for the Mariners. 2-2. Saunders has worked the full count. That's a heck of a changeup at 69 miles an hour. Strikeout for Weaver, his 4th. Bring up Cano, is twice grounded out to shortstop. Pitch running away from Robbie. Strike 1.
That was one of those swings where I think he was taking a chance, maybe get a first pitch fastball and try to tie the game up with 2 outs. Excuse me, with an out. Why not?
Off the fist, Ibar. 3rd time he's retired Cano.
Ibar almost dropped it.
Yeah. He's a 5-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove winner, and this Saturday becomes a Mariner bobblehead for the first time. Yep, it's Robinson Cano bobblehead night. Mariners take on the Tigers at 7:10 thanks to Root Sports. It's free to the first 20,000 fans, so make plans to arrive early here at Safeco Field to secure your great collectible. Go to mariners.com for tickets. That ball knuckled on him a little bit, didn't it?
I think it was slicing away from him. It looked like it jammed Cano a little bit. It was slicing away, hit him on the heel, and almost rolled right out of the end of his glove. Take a look at it, hitting the heel of his glove, and oh. It's no cone.
1-1 pitch leading off the 4th. Smoke hit a home run, a rocket shot, 371 feet. And he is. Ibar's real thrilled that he did hold on. He didn't want to drop that one. All in 2 strikes. Two and 2. Smoke's home run leading off the 4th. His 3rd career home run against Weaver. Count stays at 2 and 2. Angels have won 12 of the last 17. Jumped from 4th place to 2nd place. 2-2. And just got a piece of it. Josh Hamilton hoping to get a rehab game in later on this week. He's coming off a damaged thumb that he hurt here. First time was at April 8-9 back in that series, diving into first base. And last week hit against a Dodger prospect down in the minors who was throwing 100 miles an hour, and he got jammed, re-aggravated it. So he's here with the ball club. Nah, imagine that. You coming off a thumb,
get a few swings in, and some kid throwing 100 all over the place.
Yeah, this is what the doctor called for. His Smoke works a walk. That's the 2nd walk issued by Weaver.
I had one of those in spring training when I was with the A's.
Same deal. You
Art
rehab.
Howe, the manager. Yeah, he said, Mike, I played quite a few days in a row. He said, Mike, go get some at bats in. 10 o'clock game down on the minor league field. No problem. It'd be great. I'll be out of there by noon.
Right.
Didn't know that Kerry Wood was pitching that day. Never heard of him throwing 100.
Oh man.
Art came out and was looking after my second bat. I thanked him for that.
He came and got you?
No, he came out just to watch because there was a couple of us playing in the game, and after my second at bat, I went around the other side of the fence and thanked him.
Hey, Art.
Yeah. Let's do a little scouting next time. Send me out here. This kid's throwing hard.
Snap off a couple of breaking balls, too?
Yeah.
Man.
Think you're going to have an easy day, and then there you go.
Man, they'd have wanted that one. Counted 1-1.
Pitches up.
You go down to. What's your mindset?
I felt a little bit better because a year later he was in Chicago and punching out
20 in one game.
Yeah, exactly. So things were okay, but at that time, he was this 18-year-old kid.
Man,
kidding me?
Hey, congratulations again to Jeff Samardzija in his first victory. How about hard luck? Cub right-hander. Hit hard and fat.
It's a 10 start so far, and as an ERA,
he was in the 1.7s.
Yeah, 1.7, and still didn't have a win until he was able to get the win yesterday. I don't think he'll be in Chicago much longer.
No way. That'll get through the hole. He reached out, yanked it through. 2 outs, 2 on here for the Mariners. 2 for 3 night for Seager.
Another off-speed pitch, 78 miles an hour. Kyle able to keep his hands back just long enough. Find a hole on the right side of the infield. Justin having to wait for the ball to go through. So he will get to second base. I'll bring up Dustin Ackley. Ackley having a good night. He's 1 for 2, has scored a couple of runs.
Two on and 2 out.
Mariners 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. That one hit was from Nick Franklin.
Mariners, how about last night? 3 for 10, and the Angels didn't get anybody in scoring position. It's not a factor. Bouncing ball at Kendrick. Throw over to Pujols to retire Ackley. So we look at Soto for 3 Angels into 5.
Just one. We asked you earlier in our Twitter Tuesday question, number 3, which Seattle street this Cano bobblehead was on, and the answer is Yesler, just above I-5. Our producer, Curtis Wilson, risking his life to get these shots of Mr. Cano. Stay tuned. We've got more Twitter Tuesday questions coming at you guys.
Little daring do for the Tuesday Twitter questions. Eric Ibar leads off. Ibar, Grant Green, Chris Iannetta, 6, 7, and 8 here in the 6th inning. Good job by Elias in the 5th. 10 pitches to get his 3 outs. Fine drive. Here comes Ackley. 1 out. Going down, Yesler takes you right to Elliott Bay and just sit there and maybe share a bottle of wine and watch the sun go down. Pretty good plan.
Well, you had it right too. It's just about 9 o'clock.
I love that.
Yeah. Light out till 10 in the summer.
Kevin Bodie all over that. Cameraman, good work. Here's Grant Green, singled to center. He was leading off the 4th. A 10-pitch 5th inning. That would be 3, 5 in a row, 6 in a row. He's retired now. Speaks to the toughness that everybody always talks about with this kid.
Well, and also don't forget about what we were talking about in the 4th inning when he was in all kinds of trouble, bases loaded and nobody out, and he walked off the field giving up just 1 run. That's pretty good.
Ball and 2 strikes. Nasty. Got him looking.
Good curveball.
5th strikeout. 2 down here in the 6th. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. In this series, 2 more games. And then the Tigers come in. We got Mr. Verlander coming, scheduled to pitch on Friday. Smiley on Saturday, and Scherzer on Sunday. Then off to New York. Carry your backpack. We get off the plane, play a game, and then get right back on the plane and go to Atlanta. Coming up tomorrow, C.J. Wilson takes on Felix Hernandez. And as you well know, the Angels, along with the Rangers, are 2 teams that gives Felix a lot of trouble. Felix's career mark against the Angels, 9-13 with a 3.89 ERA and 36 starts.
I think it would be great to see Felix at the midway point have 10-11 wins.
And right, I couldn't agree more.
6-1 right now.
And then here's a guy that's got stuff to win 20 every year. A lot of times he's not had run support. But no, that would put him on his way.
That would put him on his way.
Down to Seager. Another good inning for Elias. Well done. He's retired in the last 8 men. Good work. 4-3 Angels. So, a race here. And coming around, if you had red, you win. See if Nick Franklin put something down on red right here. Get something started in the 6th. Mariners down a run.
Well, Nick 2 for 2, having a good night in the field and at the dish.
4-7-0 for the Angels. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Mariners. That wind continuing to blow out towards right field. Fly ball, center field for Mike Trout. Wow. Get on base with incredible savings and freedom of riding Sound Transit. To plan your next trip, visit soundtransit.org. Here's Mike Zunino, fouled out to the shortstop by Barn, popped out to Howie Kendrick at second. Angels scored 3 runs in the 2nd inning. 4 doubles. Last time they did that, August 21st, 07 against the Yankees. According to Jeff Evans' in-game notes, 10th time the Mariners have allowed 4+ doubles in an inning. Since 1984, last time was June 30th of 13 against the White Sox. Ibar will put this one away. Quick 2 outs. Hey, Mariner fans, Pizza Hut has a new pizza we want to share with you. Barbecue recipe pizzas have hit the menu for a limited time. Try all 3 flavors for just $11. Honey barbecue chicken, smokehouse barbecue, and Hawaiian barbecue. Real barbecue, unreal pizza. Visit pizzahut.com to order now. Brought to you by your locally owned Pizza Hut. Make it great. Quick 2 outs. Here's Brad Miller. It's a ball 1. Brad fouled out to the left fielder and walked.
Sean Burnett, left-hander for the Angels, getting loose in the pen. Weaver now with that pitch at 95 pitches. Mike Scioscia has been careful with him this year. His season high in a game is 105.
Come on, Miller.
2-1.
Start a streak, Miller.
Well, Brad can work his way to first base. Probably the last inning for Weaver.
Back with another strike. 2-2. Weaver, a college teammate of Jason Vargas and Troy Tulowitzki at Long Beach State. Played them in the regional finals one year, and they lost to Arizona. It was the year Jared was named the best pitcher in college baseball. I think that was 05. In Long Beach State, the field of 64 for this year's tournament. 3-2 here to Miller. And he works a walk.
And a good at bat.
Back-to-back walks for Miller here. That's the 3rd walk of the evening issued by Jared Weaver.
And his next pitch will be 100. So a good at bat for Brad Miller. Again, Sean Burnett, left-hander, getting loose in the pen for the Angels.
There's Jones, strikeout, and a couple of pop-ups. He has been vulnerable to that pitch tonight. Strike 1.
Well, that's been the slowest pitch he's thrown so far. There's 65 miles an hour.
Put a little arc on it. He'd have a nice little Ephus pitch. Miller running, and he is safe. Stolen base for Brad is 3rd. He's 3 for 3. He's in scoring position in this 1-run game. Mike Scioscia bolting out of the dugout.
We'll take a look at it. Ibar receiving the throw at second base. See if Brad can get his hand in before the tag. And I think he's safe. We'll take another look at it. Well, that was closer than I thought.
That's real close.
Yeah. In the meantime, Weaver, he has Jones in an 0-2 count. 101 pitches for Weaver as we take another look at it.
It's close. What's the hand? What's the hand? Ooh, you make. Hey, it looks like he got in there.
I think so.
Mike goes back to the dugout. Brad's 3 for 3 in base stealing. Jones behind 0-2. And struck him out. Runner stranded in the 6th. Weaver and the Angels lead by a run. Of wireless restrictions. Easy call here, Mike. The second inning.
Yeah, 4 doubles in the second inning for the Angels. That's where they jumped out to an early lead. And in fact, they had 3 doubles in a row before a fly out to right, and then another double. This one right here by Ibar picks up an RBI, and then Iannetta will finish it off with his double out to left field. So a tough inning for Elias, but he has settled down. Still out there working here in the 7th inning.
It's impressive. He's retired the last 8 men. Colin Cowgill leads off, the right fielder batting in the 9 hole, then Howie Kendrick and Mike Trout.
Cowgill 1 for 2. He had a bunt base hit in the 4th inning.
To the gap, and it's going to shoot almost to the track. Jones gets it in quickly. Wow, that was a close play. Woo! What a throw by James
Well, we've
Jones.
talked about it. He has a plus arm in the outfield, and Cowgill's a good runner, but take a look at this, and the tag by Franklin, throw on the money, on a line, all the way in the air, and a quick tag by Nick. See if he gets him in time, and no, he doesn't. That would be a double. So a good call by Dan Iasonga, the second base umpire.
Oof,
and what a throw by Jones out in center field.
Tell you what, he's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He's not letting it affect him in the field. 5th double tonight if it stands. And Iasonga out there. Glove. It's the bag that slowed him up a hair. He just got in there. Cowgill with his 5th double of the season. 5th double this evening by the Angels. That ends a run of 8 consecutive hitters retired. Here's Howie Kendrick. Swing and a miss. Dan Iasonga all over that play, and we had We're able to boil it down to about 100th of a second, and he was right. It was an outstanding position as well. Smoke will take this as Kendrick does his job, moves to runner to third. So 1 out. Cowgill down to third. You see Mariners hits at Safeco Field. Now you can download current hits to your music device when you head to the ballpark Tuesday, June 10th. Mariners take on the Yankees. First 10,000 fans receive a free music download card thanks to T-Mobile. This card's going to allow you to choose up to 5 songs. For tickets to see the Mariners and the Yankees, log on to Mariners.com. Lloyd's coming out to get Elias. Runner at third. Mike Trout the hitter. And Elias, after a rocky start, tip your cap to the young man. He did a nice job to get into the 7th inning. With 1 out, 4-3 ball game. Angels on top. Fonk Insurance. Bad luck can hit anyone. Insure with the 13th man. Burn Fonk Insurance. By 5-Hour Energy, which helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Good to be with you on a very pleasant evening here in Seattle. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. Dominic Leone takes over. He'll come in to face Mike Trout.
Take a look at the line for Elias. 6 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them earned. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 92 pitches, 60 of those 4 strikes. Dominic Leone will take over his 18th appearance on the year. 1-0 record, a 1.33 ERA, 23 strikeouts and 20 in the third. Opponent sitting just 194 against Leone.
He has been a revelation. Big part of the reason why the Mariners have the #2 ERA in the league behind Oakland. We saw another tremendous addition yesterday in Chris Young. Infield in close. 1 out. As Trout takes a strike. Mike tonight has struck out, walked, and fly to right.
And quickly ahead. It's something that we've seen from Leone. As you look at Joe Beimel. Beimel was up earlier in the game, back up throwing again. That last fastball from Leone, 95 miles an hour, but saw his ERA at a 1.33. It's because he typically comes out of the pen, Dave, and gets ahead with that good fastball.
0-2 here to Trout with Pujols on deck. 2 to Trout. Scrambled by Zunino. 1-2. Zunino could put out a heck of a videotape on how to block stuff in the dirt. He and Kurt Suzuki.
You can put out a tape, but I'm not sure there are many that can move laterally as quickly as he does.
1-2. I think the hand speed is what is separated. I like the lateral move, but I think his hand speed is exceptional.
It is, and he has soft hands. He typically catches the ball when it's bouncing up there. He can pick it like an infielder. That's hard to do with a catcher's glove on.
2-2. High fly ball right field. Calgill tagging. Saunders gathering himself. Here's a throw. It's up the line, cut off by Smoke. 5-3 on the sac fly by Trout. It's his 35th RBI. And for Mike, his 5th sacrifice fly. He's the team leader in that category. Took a while, but Michael finally found it. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Here's Pujols. Got his attention. Juno to Albert. Wide out to short, fouled out to third, popped up to first. Homered last night, number 506. Reno. David Freese on deck. He's had a heck of a night, 2 for 3. The run scored, a double and a single. And Pujols is aboard. 4-pitch walk. Good pitching matchup tomorrow. CenturyLink link to what's next. C.J. Wilson, the dandruff commercial star, and Felix Hernandez, the king. Both fellas putting up good numbers.
All right, Dominic all of a sudden has lost it. Yeah, Zunino going to make a trip to the mound, sometimes just overthrowing, and Rick Waits, the pitching coach, going out to the mound too.
Mariners have won 5 out of 6 against the Angels. Down by 2, so rallying in front of them. In the home 7th, it'll be 2-3-4. Saunders, Cano, and Smoke. Good look at Lloyd McClendon, Trent Jewett, Rich Donnelly. Foul ball. Screamer. Blue Jays won again today, 8th consecutive victory in Edwin Encarnacion. 14th home run in the month of May, tying the club mark held by Jose Bautista. Today is the 27th. He's got a chance to break that record. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Toronto, about a month ago, was in last place. Now they're up by 2. Yankees lost tonight in St. Louis. Orioles playing some good ball. Nelson Cruz having a fantastic game. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Strike 3 called. Nice work by Leon to rally there. Angels get a run on the sacrifice fly by Mike Trout. Open up a 2-run lead. What would you do if you won? Back at the Sky City Restaurant at the Space Needle, looking south. Beautiful afternoon. Mariners enjoying their longest homestand of the season. They split against Houston 2-2 and then won last night. Jared Weaver, his night is complete.
6 innings. Yeah, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 102 pitches for Weaver. Gave up a home run to Smoke, a solo home run. And Sean Burnett will take over. Only his 3rd appearance on the year. He's pitched a 1/3 of an inning.
Michael Saunders will be his first hitter. Burnett out of Dunedin, Florida, lives in Wellington, Florida now. Signed as a free agent December of 2012. Been around a little bit. Pittsburgh and Washington. And last year, 13 games with the Angels. 1-1. Oh, he is straight up crossfire guy to left-handers.
It looks like he's stepping towards first base and throwing across his body. Makes it tough on the lefties. Saunders has done a good job against left-handed pitching this year, hitting .313 against lefties.
Saunders to be followed by Cano and Smoke. Pulled foul.
I'm going to take a look at the crossfire delivery from Burnett. Doesn't really step towards home, kind of in between and then back across. Good look at his breaking ball.
Saunders hangs with him and pops one. Ibar is there. One out. Here's Angie Menting.
Guys, that is the craziest delivery. All right, I've got your final chance on our Twitter Tuesday. Using the hashtag RootQ5, tell us what will be the total combined runs and hits for both teams in tonight's game. This is your chance to win a Robinson Cano autographed baseball. Thanks to everyone who's participating in tonight's installment of Twitter Tuesday. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for exclusive offers, giveaways, and the latest programming highlights. And don't forget to tune in June 3rd against the Atlanta Braves for your next chance to play Twitter Tuesday, guys.
All right, Angie, thank you. Something must be wrong with Sean Burnett. Mike Scioscia, the catcher, one out. Scioscia's coming out with the trainer. Rick Smith, the trainer, on your left. They're going to take the ball from him.
Yeah.
Something happened. So the next reliever, there was nobody up. They'll get as much time as he needs with Burnett having to come out because of an injury. 5-3 Angels. Has had some rocky times in the second inning, Mike, but I tell you, he gutted his way through.
Well, he was able to figure things out. He gave up 3 runs in that second inning, including 4 doubles, but after that, he really started to pitch well. It looked like he finally found his curveball, was able to get a couple of strikeouts on that pitch. He hasn't had a good curveball for a few outings. Here's another curve for him. Damage control for him. Back in the 4th inning when he had the bases loaded and nobody out, gave up 1 run in that inning. But overall, 6 in the 3rd, 8 hits, 5 runs. All 5 were earned. Just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 92 pitches, 60 of those for strikes. And on the other side of it, we'll take a look at Jared Weaver. Again, the master at changing speeds, hitting locations, keeping the hitters off balance. And there you go. That's a good curveball. He throws curveball anywhere from 65 to 69 miles an hour. And then it was just a matter of locating his fastball and using his changeup. But he was effective. The good news, the Mariners able to get to him. Get to him for 3 runs. Smoke with a solo home run off of Weaver.
5-3 Angels, second game of a 4-game set. Let's check in again with Angie Menting.
Guys, thanks so much. And we take a look at our AT&T fan photos of the game. We've asked you to send them in, and you have done so. And we're going to start off with Jim. It's a terrific night for baseball, and apparently made even better with wonderful company. And next, we've got Eddie. And look at this beautiful little girl dressed all in Mariners gear. This is what happens when mom goes to work. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Angie, thank you. As we look at a gorgeous shot of night descending on Seattle. Safeco Field. Join us for Game 3 tomorrow. Coverage begins at 6:30. Good pitching matchup. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. C.J. Wilson takes on the King, Felix Hernandez. Chance to be a fun matchup tomorrow. Two talented young pitchers. Fernando Salas continuing his warm-ups. Hey fans, don't forget, you can follow every Mariners game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, score, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download from the App Store or visit Mariners.com today. Well, one out here in the home seventh. Fernando Salas takes over. One-time member of the St. Louis Cardinals.
22nd appearance on the earth, 3-0 record. He's pitched well, 2.57 ERA, 22 strikeouts in 21 innings. Opponents hitting .222, and he's given up 2 home runs.
Came over from St. Louis with David Freese in that Peter Borges deal last November. Shot foul by Cano. Cano tonight twice grounded out to Ibar at shortstop and then hit a soft liner to Ibar in the fifth. He's 0 for 3. Salas, he turns 30 or 29 on Friday, I should say. Delivers ball 1-1. Fouls it back, 1-2. Angels 3 runs in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the seventh. The Mariners run the first, 2 in the fourth. Two and two. One out, nobody on it. Justin Smoke's on deck. Salas from Mexico, pitched down there for 3 years. We're coming to the States. Reached the Cardinal Ball Club, the big club, 27 games in 2010.
And he's gone right after Cano. His fastball 90 to 93 miles an hour, but he's not messing around. See that last fastball right in the middle of the plate.
Two and two to Cano. Back again. Mariners have won 5 of their last 8 games, looking to get beyond that 500 mark again. Two and two. And low. Good bat.
Justin Smoke waiting on deck. Justin with a home run in the game. Hit a home run in the 4th inning. Now leads the club in home runs with 7.
Three and two to Cano. Sharply hit, base hit to left field.
Well, Mariners needed a base runner, and Cano, as you would expect, gets a base hit. Now 1 for 4 in the game. Came into the game hitting .332, but with this base hit through the left side of the infield, 1 for 4. Good looking at McDonald Supermo head right there in the hitting area, always leading with those hands, staying inside the ball. Solid base hit on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Iannetta going out to speak with Salas. Mike Butcher coming out. Figure out how they want to pitch to Smoke. A couple of at-bats ago, this is what Smoke did. Our Seattle City Light power play.
Off of Jared Weaver, gets a two-seam fastball middle in and hits it up into the seats. His third career home run off of Jared Weaver.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out on the mound. Have some action out in the Angels bullpen. I think right now he's just stalling, trying to give him time to get loose in the pen. There you go, Joe Smith getting loose. Tom Wilhelmsen throwing in the Mariners bullpen.
Trip Gibson let Mike indulge on the mound here. Jeez. Need a stenographer or what?
Yeah, I'm looking down at Lloyd. He's throwing his hands in the air. He's not happy.
You're already working a game. You don't have to hear every conversation. Knowing Lloyd, he's pretty hacked off at that.
Trent Jewett sitting next to him getting an earful.
That's what bench coaches do.
That's it.
5-3 ball game, bottom 7. 1 out, 1 on for Smoke. Year for Mike Socha, Dean of Active Managers. In there for strike 1-1. Tried to tie it up. 1-2. Some of the longest tenured active coaches right now in the 4 big sports. Pop since '96, Mike Socha since '99, Bill Belichick of the Patriots, and Mike Babcock of the Red Wings. That's the longest run in each sport right now. There's a third baseman freeze to the shortstop. Over to Albert Pujols. 5-6-3 double play. Mariners are done in the 7th. 8th inning coming up. Mariners down 2. Beautiful day here in Seattle, turning into a lovely evening. Good to have you with us. 5-3 Angels. It's the second of a 4-game set. As we go to the 8th inning, Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew. We're above the 8th and safe field. Tom Wilhelmsen takes over.
For Tom, his 22nd appearance on the Arias 4-hold. ERA just over 3. Opponent's hitting 193 off of Tom. Good fastball. He'll be 95 to 97 miles an hour. Also throws a cutter now. Be in the low 90s with a curveball and a changeup to the left-handed hitters.
C.J. Cron will be his first batter. Torrey Hunter solo home run, top of the 7th, just tied it up for Detroit. 5-5. That's in Oakland. Angie Menting will have highlights of that game and others on the post-game show.
Hey, Jordan.
Big swing and a miss. Pujols and company taking in the action here, watching Wilhelmsen deal 0-2. Well hit, deep left center field, off the bat of David Freese. Goodbye. Nick Sosha told me before the game he is some kind of strong, and he proved it right there as a triple shy of the cycle. Check that, it was Cron, beg your pardon, C.J. Cron. He too showed his strength last night with that blast he hit up against the wall in right field. 0-2 pitch.
Swing about, man.
Tom was able to throw the second strike by him at the top of the zone. They tried to go back there again, and this is a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the strike zone. He hits it out into the bullpen.
Third home run, 8th RBI. Here's Ibar. Did some traveling. 6-3 lead now. 9th hit for the Angels. Hook foul. Wilhelmsen giving up his second home run of the season. Angels with that home run came in 3rd in the American League. Added to that, they're 57th. Starting today, the #1 home run hitting team in Oakland, #2. Then the Angels. 2-2 to Ibar, and struck him out. One out here in the 8th.
Cole Calhoun is going to pinch hit for Grant Green.
Calhoun, a .213 hitter in 19 games with 3 homers and 6 runs batted in. You saw his pinch hit numbers.
Grant Green finished the night 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Calhoun ahead in the count 2-0. He's back after missing 31 games. Sprained right ankle. Played by Franklin Hurries, throws, and just gets a 2 outs.
Bernicki gets a little bit of a short hop. Ball has some overspin on it. Thought he was going to pick it cleanly. Hits off the heel of his glove. Fortunately, it stays in front of him as he hustles after it. Makes the throw.
Here's the catcher, Chris Iannetta. Double hit by a pitch and a ground out to third. Get into the gap. Saunders works to cut it off and does. Iannetta 2 hits tonight. Angels in a run. A lot of divisional games. 4 here in Seattle, 3 at Oakland, and 3 at Houston before they return home on June 6th.
Bring up Colin Cowgill, having a good night. 2 for 3 tonight.
First hit was a bunt to load him up back in the 4th. Double to center. That was in the 7th. One. Small crowd tonight, 13,064 watching the 25 and 25 Mariners. Angels come in at 28 and 22. There's Raul Ibanez off tonight. Tough one last night, going 0 for 2, striking out twice. Runner goes. Just takes second. Stolen base for Cowgill. I beg your pardon, for Iannetta. How about the catcher?
I guess he figured if you're not going to pay attention to it, you may as well take it.
It's 3 for 3. Did he go? He did. It's his first base umpire, Dale Scott. Well, Holmson gives up a home run and a single, strands a runner. Angels lead at 6-3. To escape some trouble with 3 big innings. This in the 5th inning. Then move to the 6th inning as Jones strikes out. And then a killer double play right here ends a Mariner threat. They've done a heck of a job here since they've added to their total.
About a 5-6-3 double play.
We'll see that every day.
See more and more of them this year with all the shifts going on. Joe Smith is going to take over for the Angels.
It's about the second. Let's see, 1, 2. That's the 2nd or 3rd we've seen this year.
I think so.
So left fielder now is Cowgill, moves over from right field and staying in the game after pinch hitting. He's in right field now. That's Cole Calhoun. New pitcher, veteran Joe Smith.
20 appearances on the year, 2-0 record, 2.25 ERA. Opponent's hitting .219. He's given up 1 home run. And you can see from that delivery a little bit of a submariner.
Seager, Ackley, and Franklin here, 5, 6, and 7 in the 8th.
Kyle having a good night, 2 for 3 tonight.
Mariners get an RBI single from Nick Franklin in the 2nd inning. Home run by Smoke in the 4th. Later in the 4th, Ackley scored on a wild pitch, scored from 3rd. And those are the Mariner runs. Breaking ball for strike. Evens the count at 2-2. Joe Smith has been with the Mets and Cleveland in his career. Outside he's with the Mets in 07 and 08. Cleveland from 09 through last year. Seager, oh, he caught it. Can't hit it much harder than that. One out. He mashed that ball.
He did, and I think if Smith ended up getting by him, it would have been right at Ibar. He was playing right up the middle, but a good play by Smith.
Kyle with a couple of hits in the game, hit that one right on the button.
Life-preserving play. Looks like Joe's still walking it off.
It'll unsettle you a little bit. 0.4 seconds for the ball to get back to him.
Ackley fouls one off. Ackley tonight a double run scored. Fielder's choice reached on that, scored a run and grounded out to second. One on one. Two and one. Two balls, 2 strikes to Ackley with Nick Franklin on deck. Roenis Elias went 6 1/3, 8 hits. 5 runs all earned. Walk and 5 Ks starting for the Mariners this evening. Jared Weaver 6 innings, a 7-hit 3-run ball, 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Ackley, he's got a 3-2 count.
Well, he's had some fastballs to hit. All 3 fastballs he's fouled off have been right in the middle of the plate. Joe Smith, not a hard thrower. Fastball about 87, 88 miles an hour.
One out, nobody on. 3-2 here to Ackley. And he worked the walk.
And that will bring up Nick Franklin. Nick 2 for 3 tonight.
I used to love that toy. The ball attached to the thing. She had the whack it thing there. I remember having that as a kid.
Yep, driving your parents crazy with it.
Especially in the car. That was always endearing. Don't make me pull his car over.
Hey, Dad, look how good I am at it.
And you get that look.
Yeah. All of a sudden, that rubber band is busted.
Oh,
no, what happened?
And you can't find that escape hatch in the car either. Don't make me come in that back seat. Sounds like we both have had plenty of it. Probably only needed one singular experience on that, right?
That's it.
Trout is there. 2 outs.
That will bring up Mike Zunino. Mike looking for his first base hit.
And off balance today. Weaver did a good job keeping him off balance.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Jared Weaver does. And quite frankly, it was tough on Zunino. If you look at the Mariners lineup, the only right-handed hitter in the lineup, and right-handers hitting just 165 off of Weaver. So he's not alone.
Ball 1 to Mike. Fouled out to the shortstop Ibar, popped up to second, and popped up to Ibar again. There's Josh Hamilton in the middle. They hope to have him back maybe 10 days or so. He was off to a terrific start too before he hurt himself here. He was 12 for 27 out of the gate, 2 homers and 6 runs, 6 runs batted in, 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Two-one. Sweeping curve for strike. Two and 2 to Mike. Ackley the runner at first at 2-2 to Zunino. And he waved at that and fooled again. 8 in the books. Angel 6-3.
steadfast belief in the home team. That is what we're looking for here at Root Sports, and that's what we have in our friend McLovin from Billings, Montana, a longtime Twitter follower. Stop by the Ford Sports Desk. He's in town here at Safeco Field. Glad to have him here in the building, guys. It was an honor.
Very cool. Coming all the way from Billings. And a baby. Top of the ninth. And it'll be the top of the order for the Angels against Tom Wilhelmsen. Here's Howie Kendrick. All one. Tom, the third pitcher used by the Mariners tonight.
And the closer for the Angels getting loose. Ernesto Frieri, hard throwing right-hander. Nobody throwing in the Mariner pen.
Kendrick fouls one off, 1-1.
I'll be done. They patched it already. I see the tie. The tie is right there. Yep. The hole was there this afternoon.
Bouncing ball. Seager smothers it. Throws quickly and gets Kendrick. Nice play. 1 out.
Kyle showing some range to his left. Looked like this was headed out to left field in the hole, but Kyle, diving effort, gets up quickly and makes an accurate throw. Here's a good look at our McDonald's Supermo. Good play.
Brings up Mike Trout. Sacrifice fly last time up in the 7th. Line drive, right field. Here comes Saunders, and he keeps it in front of him. That'll be a base hit for Trout, his first tonight.
A little half swing base hit.
Mike 1 for 2, a walk and a sac fly. Now Albert Pujols 0 for 3 with a walk. Mariner pitchers tonight: Elias, Leone, and now Wilhelmsen. Tom came in to start the 8th inning. Breaking ball for a strike. Tom gave up a home run to C.J. Cron as Raul Ibanez pinch hit for David Freese. Time called. So they count the Pujols 0-1. 1 out, men at first, Mike Trout. To Albert. A's in Oakland tied 5-5, top of the 8th in Oakland. The 0-2. Him out. 2 out. It's Wilhelmsen. Registers strikeout number 3.
Good fastball from Tom, 95 miles an hour up out of the strike zone, but he gets Pujols to chase it. And Raul Ibanez is going to pinch hit for David Freese.
Last night struck out twice and walked. Good pinch hitting numbers so far. Drop back on the dive. Banya's hitting just $156 on the season.
And the Mariners put the shift on. Kyle Seager on the right side of the infield. Nick Franklin, second baseman. You can see him out there on the grass.
Right to Franklin. Hit it on the button. That'll do it. Last ups here for the Mariners. They'll have Miller, Jones, and Saunders. Saunders and Cano on the board. How about Smoke with the home run? Couple singles for Seager.
Good to see Nick Franklin get in the mix. He's played some good defense tonight. Couple of hits for him, including an RBI. John McDonald will take over at third base. Abanya's pinch hitting for David Freese, so now McDonald will go in and play third.
And the Angels bring in their fifth pitcher. They bring in their closer, Ernesto Frieri.
Hard throwing right-hander. He's had his struggles this year. He's blown a couple of saves. 4.22 ERA, 27 strikeouts and 21 in the third, only 4 walks, but he's given up 6 home runs this year. The Mariners can get a couple of base runners and get to the middle of the lineup. And now Lloyd McClellan he wants to see Robinson Cano hit one more time. 9-1 and 2 due up. Cano, fourth hitter in this inning.
Oh, 1 to Brad Miller. Frieri gave up 11 homers last year. Jim had 6 already this season. Foul out to left and a couple of walks for Millerton. Left field. Backing up Cowgill. 1 out. Top of the order, James Jones, 0 for 4 tonight. Couple of strikeouts and 2 pop-ups.
Might be a little better for him. He won't have to deal with all those changeups, the slow curveballs. Frieri will go right after him with a good fastball.
Strike 1. 1-1 to Jones. Ibar knows he has to hurry, and does, and throws out Jones. 2 down. The other piece of bad news for the Mariners earlier, James Paxton. It was stated that he has inflammation in his left shoulder. He's going to be shut down until further notice.
We'll bring up Michael Saunders. Saunders 1 for 4 tonight.
Last hope here for the Mariners. 6-3 Angel lead. Strike 1. Nasty pitch. Did not go to CB Buckner. 1-1. On 1 to Saunders. Good pitch. On 2 strikes. Detroit's just taking a 6-5 lead at Oakland, top of the 8th. Mariners down to their last strike. Up high. 2-2. Two outs and nobody on. Mariners down 3. 2-2 pitch here to Saunders. Full count.
Cano waiting on deck. 1 for 4 night for him.
Saunders aboard with a walk. Nice job. 2 outs and brings up Cano. 2 ground outs to shortstop, a line out to shortstop, and a base hit to left. 1 for 4 night.
.330 batting average. Mariners would take a base hit right here. Give Justin Smoke a chance to tie the game up. Justin with a home run in the 4th inning. Club leader with 7 now.
Pitch to Cano. Saunders takes off. He'll get second on the difference. On 1 to Cano.
Again, Frieri has given up 6 home runs this year.
0-1 to Cano. Solid smash. Umpire Iasonia had to get out of the way. Saunders will score easily. 6-4 Angels as Cano comes through with another hit, his second tonight, and an RBI gives him 31.
Mariners 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Solid base hit on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball as Cano stays right back up the middle of the field. Now we'll give Justin Smoke a chance. Justin tonight 1 for 3. Home run in the 4th, also walked in the 5th.
Smoke represents a tying run. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Cano takes off. He'll get second on indifference. Ball 1 to Smoke. Smoke 2 for 8 with a home run against Frieri. There's a game down in Anaheim he won late.
Yep.
Frieri set with the 1-0. Smoke, nobody guarding third. Cano's down there. Smoke goes ahead 2-0. To Smoke. See if we can get a launch mode here. 3-0.
We'll see if Lloyd McClendon will let him swing away. Kyle Seager waiting on deck. Kyle has had a good night tonight. He was 2 for 4. He lined out right back at the pitcher his last time up.
3-0 to Smoke. And he takes ball 4. Very interesting.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, going to come out, see if we get a pinch runner, and we will. It'll be Gillespie will pinch run.
So Frieri goes fly out, ground out, walk, RBI single, walk. Seager in position here to ruin the Angels' night. If he can get one out of here, he represents the winning run.
With that walk to Smoke, Fernando Rodney starting to get loose in the pen for the Mariners.
2 quick outs, then a walk, RBI single, and a walk. Mariners been trailing after 8 innings. Got a 1-19 record. Number 2 would be sweet right here. First pitch to Seager. Foul, gave it a good turn.
Had a good pitch to hit 95 miles an hour. Right in the middle of the plate. Kyle knows it. Put a good swing on it, just missed it. Kyle with a 3-run home run, walk-off home run against Houston on April 23rd.
You know it. 0-1 pitch here. Fouled off Iannetta, the catcher. 0-2.
Yeah, he's had a couple of fastballs to hit. Again, that one up out over the plate. Another look at the swing by Kyle. He's taken a shot at it a couple of times, but he's missed the fastball.
It's off the glove. Iannetta. 0-2 now. 2 out, 2 on. 2-run lead for the Angels. Pitch. Hit well. Deep left center field. Trout calling off. Cal goalie makes a catch, and that's the ball game. And the Angels win it 6-4, just their second win in 7 games against the Mariners.
Unfortunately, the Mariners tonight spotting Jared Weaver, one of the best pitchers in the American League. 4 runs early, and that was enough. He was able to hold on and get his 6th win of the year.
Weaver the winner. Elias the loser, and Frieri picks up the save. Good pitching matchup tomorrow. C.J. Wilson against Felix Hernandez. We look forward to that. Right now, we ask you to join our friends Brad Adam and Dave Valley for the postgame show.
Dave, thank you. Yes, we do. Please join us out here. Angels do take it. Frieri, woo, kind of a heart pumping, pulse racing kind of save there, but does get it done. Number 7. Weaver improves to 6-3. Elias at 3-4. He's now 0-2, Val, against these Angels. And he had the one tough inning. Then he kind of righted himself and seemed to really be in control until he comes out there in the 7th inning. But Elias, the loss, as you sometimes get with these starts, good and bad. Let's take a look at what we're talking about, Val. Good and bad from this guy. 6 1/3, does give up the 5, punches out 5, gets in and out of trouble a lot.
Yeah, it was in that 2nd inning where the Angels ended up with 4 doubles, and they did most of their damage against Elias at that time. He was starting to make some pitches up, out over the plate, and this club came out swinging here this evening, putting some runs up on the board very quickly off of some pitches that he was not really executing well. Even his breaking pitch, that one pitch that is a swing and miss pitch for Elias, was not real sharp. It was up, out, over. You can see all of these pitches are belt high and above. and the Angels did not miss him at all. And I tell you what, big league hitters will tell you very quickly when you're not hitting your spots, as Mr. Elias was not doing early in the game. But he did settle down. As this game started to unfold, he got a little bit more comfortable, was starting to, again, locate his pitches. Notice the location compared to the first inning, the first and second inning, where everything was back down around the knees, and it was just a different ball game for Elias.
He just seemed to look more confident on the mound, kind of had that swagger back a little bit as he goes into the 7th inning. But 8 of his hits, we saw 4 doubles in the second. 8 of the 8 hits, 5 were doubles by the Angels, and they get to Elias for 5 earned. And he takes the loss now 3-4 as the 3-4. The Angels even up this set 1 game apiece. Ibar, Trout get to jump up and do the shoulder bump midair. Angels take it 6-4. Lots to get to on postgame.